Hey, welcome to Happy Little Notaries. Just doing another DCTL deep dive. And as a heads up, if you hear any noises that are weird, it's because the kids are hanging out in the studio today. But I told them to be quiet for M&Ms. But yeah, DCTL deep dive. We're going to talk about RGB Chips, a diagnostic tool that I use quite frequently. Does that to your image, and we're going to just talk about it from a basic line. So we're going to just turn off our look dev, but it's a diagnostic tool. It goes underneath your look dev. I kind of is how I use it at least, and it allows me to see what's going on with my main vectors. But it has some controls, so you can tweak and adjust the incoming saturation. Usually just set it to 1. You can crank up the number of hues. I usually leave it around 6, just because that is, a happy place to show off the 6 main vectors and the gray ramp. And then columns is kind of an exposure demarcation, so you can kind of see, it kind of breaks it up and makes it so you can kind of see what happens at exposure jumps through your shot. You can clamp your output. You can make some adjustments to the incoming mid-gray. You can change it to linear, and you can be crazy and go vertical. The world is your oyster with that. Vertical scans differently in how things look on your scopes, obviously. So it kind of depends what you're going for. If we leave it like this, it's all fun. Discrete it allows it where it's these breaks, or you can do continuous hue, continuous exposure, or fully continuous, where it's all swatted across. And so this is a whole swath. Usually like this. You can put in gaps if it's not continuous, but it is an easy way to see. So if you're discrete, you can put in, say, bars to kind of separate things and break things up. But in this mode, discrete, no bars, you can kind of see just how things are affecting fully continuous all the way around, plus the gray ramp. You turn that off. You can see on the vector scope where that gray ramp is kind of situated in terms of going straight on and straight back. But then if we put on top of that our initial look dev, which is a DRT that takes us from the input, which we're declaring this to be Davinci wide gamut, Davinci wide intermediate, and we're pumping it out. You can see how that is affecting our hues. And you can see that on the vector scope. If you want to see the curves particularized, you can go this way, and you can see how it changes a little bit of the view of the vector scope by turning it this way. This way you get just more of a little blend swath in terms of what your view is, but this kind of lets you see how, as they get bright, how those curves rotate around. And so if you're doing things where you're playing around with some of like these hue shifts, you can see on the vector scopes quite clearly watching how the red bent, so that as you're working and developing your look, it's a little bit easier to see what's going on than, if you were just in OpenDRT and you're bending. Yeah, you can see the red on the vector scope bending around, but how is it working? Like if you're thinking through my look dev, I want this to be on all my shots. So where my red is going to be fully saturated, where is that roll off going to be? And that's why it's really good. Check out the other video on transforming your footage with DRTs, and kind of gives you all that information as well. And you can see a little bit, I think you can see, you can see how the curve bends like that, even in this format, on the vector scope and the cube. But yeah, it is kind of just like that. So yeah, what do you guys think? Do you guys use diagnostic tools? Just leave a comment. But yeah, just thought we'd talk through that and then play around. You can see it even more. You add in more tools and see everything you're doing with the look dev very cleanly, very easily, compared to what you're going to see where your hues are all blended together in different amounts all over the page. But if you like this and you want more, leave a comment. Tell me what tools you guys are using. What do you want to learn more about? And maybe we can talk about that in the comments. So like, subscribe, and do all those YouTube things. Until next time, it's been fun. But yeah, play around. Link in the description for the RGB chips.